Regeneration certainly aims to meet the needs of contemporary culture, and particularly aiming for young people who are currently not attending many Methodist churches, so those in their late teens, throughout their 20s, even into their 30s. And so we make no apology that that's our aim.
I think the expectation when we first came into this circuit was that we would work our way around the 13 churches, trying to establish youth work in each one of those churches and then move on. But the problem with that whole idea was that there weren't enough people in those individual churches to sustain the work. So we found that it was best to try and run events where we could draw young people together, and then after those events we would talk to young people, ask them how they thought that it went, and to get a general consensus about what worked, what didn't work. And out of that we were able to form some new ideas and revisit some of the things that we had done that worked successfully.
Out of initial conversations we found very much that there was a passion for drama. Some of the young people, so we thought, well, let's start there. That's where some of these young people are at. And then we had a confirmation course, which took part in our dining room. We also had monthly youth services. And really, to start with, I think if we're honest, we know that mainly the young people are only coming to that because they were kind of doing drama, and that was kind of their way of connecting. But I think even then there was a sense of ownership, that actually at least they felt that it really was kind of for them and it was really connecting with them.
A friend of mine came to this church, Regeneration, and he was hassling me for weeks and weeks. I thought, yeah, all right, I'll go along, and I came to an Alpha course that was being run here. And on the first night, I realised that actually being a Christian was all about relationship and not about going to boring old services.
And maybe you've had like the worst day ever, and you show up and you're like, I just don't want to be at church right now.
What I found going to churches when I was younger with my mum was that it was sort of left to you. So I'll tell you a bit about God and you have to go sort yourself out. But here it's sort of acknowledged that you're human and you do need help, and we don't have all the answers, but we're going to help you as much as we can. We can support you as much as we can. I've discovered gifts that I didn't think I had, leading worship and stuff like that. It's developed my confidence as well, because growing up I didn't really have much of that.
I think that when I came along to Regen, I wasn't expecting at all to be accepted, because I had been sort of in hospital for nearly 2 years, and I'd kind of gone back a year in school, and I had suffered quite a lot with self-harm behaviours and stuff like that, and you can come along and you've still got people here who like you, despite what you've been through, despite all these things, and they're willing to sort of give time and support you along the way as well.
The night I had become a Christian, one of the prayers that I prayed for was for my dad, and 5 years before that I had no contact with him at all, and over those years I had been trying to get in contact with him, but I had no reply back. And the next day I received a text from my actual father, which was speechless to me really. I had no words to describe it. It was really amazing.
Before I came to Regen, the sort of people I used to hang around with, I had this one girlfriend, she was caught in a house fire, and that completely blew my whole world apart, sort of thing. And when I actually came here, it kind of like filled the gap that I needed. No matter how bad things are outside, no matter what's gone on, I can always come here and I feel loved. There's always people here listening for me and that I can talk to and open up to.
Certainly we've always put a great emphasis on them being in leadership, and I think that's been very much a part of what we've tried to do with the sort of discipleship but very early on.
I think it's really important that young adults and young people are included in the leadership team in a church like Regeneration, because they're able to reflect values and ideas that many young people face in the world today. And if a church is looking to reach this age group, it's really important that young people and young adults are able to have a voice within the leadership team so that they're able to contribute ideas.
As part of the leadership team, one of my roles is to oversee a pod group, and what that allows us to do is allow people to mix socially who they wouldn't necessarily mix with, and also allow pastoral oversight. So as a pod leader, it's my job or my role to check up on people perhaps on a weekly basis, just see if there's anything I need to be praying for. And then if there's any more serious issues, that could be directed higher up into the church for specific pastoral care.
What has been a journey is talking about some of the perhaps more vulnerable people that we have connected with, and perhaps people that sometimes wouldn't go anywhere near a church. So we have someone at the moment who is currently in prison, but again we're still trying to support him, writing to him, and hopefully it's a place where he will still feel accepted and a part of what we're doing.
A missioner has said that the greatest tragedy of our time is that we've kept our pews, but we've lost our children. If we want to see a church that is alive and vibrant, we need to move with God's plan and God's agenda, and He's always moving forward.
For us, we want to kind of have that vibrancy of a community that's actually alive and that is growing and changing, but actually it's somewhere where people's voices can be heard, and there's kind of a real celebration of life and what it means to actually be a Christian today.